Welcome to Unveiling History's Darkest Moments, where we expose the atrocities that shaped our world. In this episode, we uncover the top 10 war crimes committed by Saddam Hussein, a man responsible for unspeakable acts of brutality. Join us as we delve into his reign of terror. Number 10. The Marsh Arab Genocide. Saddam Hussein's regime orchestrated the destruction of the unique Marsh Arab culture and way of life. The draining of the marshes and persecution of the Marsh Arab population resulted in a devastating ecological and humanitarian catastrophe. The Marsh Arabs were subjected to forced displacement, mass executions, and the destruction of their homes and livelihoods. Number 9. The chemical attack on Halabja in 1988. Saddam Hussein's forces launched a horrifying chemical attack on the Kurdish town of Halabja. Thousands of innocent civilians, including women and children, were killed or severely injured. The attack involved the use of deadly chemical agents, such as mustard gas and nerve agents, leading to excruciating suffering and long-term health complications for survivors. Number 8. The Anfal campaign. Saddam Hussein's regime carried out the infamous Anfal campaign, targeting the Kurdish population in northern Iraq. The campaign aimed to suppress Kurdish resistance, resulting in widespread destruction, forced displacement, and mass killings. Chemical weapons, such as mustard gas and nerve agents, were used against civilian populations, leading to the deaths of thousands. Number 7. The suppression of uprisings. Saddam Hussein brutally suppressed several uprisings that challenged his regime's authority. The most notable uprising took place in 1991 following the Gulf War. Protests erupted in various regions of Iraq, particularly in the south and Kurdistan. Saddam's response was swift and merciless, resulting in the deaths of tens of thousands of Iraqis. Number 6. The invasion of Kuwait in 1990. Saddam Hussein ordered the invasion of Kuwait, marking a dark chapter in his legacy. The ruthless annexation of Kuwait by Iraq resulted in a swift and brutal occupation. The international community condemned this act of aggression, leading to a coalition-led military response known as the Gulf War. Number 5. The Iran-Iraq War. Saddam Hussein's regime initiated a devastating conflict with Iran, resulting in one of the bloodiest wars in modern history. The 8-year-long war claimed the lives of millions and left both nations in ruins. Saddam's ambitions for regional dominance and territorial disputes led to immense suffering and loss of life. Number 4. The torture chamber. Saddam Hussein's regime operated secret prisons and torture chambers, such as Abu Ghraib and the Radwaniyah Palace complex. Countless individuals were subjected to horrific acts of torture, including beatings, electric shocks, and sexual abuse. These chambers of suffering were used to extract information, punish dissent, and instill fear among the population. Number 3. The reign of fear. Saddam Hussein's regime ruled through fear and intimidation, creating a climate of terror that silenced opposition and dissent. The pervasive presence of state security forces, surveillance, and informants ensured that no one was safe from persecution. The fear and paranoia instilled by Saddam's regime had a chilling effect on society, stifling freedom of expression and basic human rights. Number 2. The mass graves. Saddam Hussein's regime was notorious for its use of mass graves to conceal evidence of its crimes. Following his downfall, numerous mass graves were discovered throughout Iraq, containing the remains of victims of Saddam's brutal regime. These graves served as a chilling reminder of the widespread human rights abuses committed under his rule. Number 1. The persecution of Shia and Kurdish communities. Saddam Hussein's regime systematically persecuted the Shia and Kurdish communities in Iraq. They were subjected to mass executions, forced disappearances, and targeted campaigns of violence. The notorious Al-Anfal campaign against the Kurds and the suppression of Shia uprisings resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of innocent people. These are just a glimpse into the dark legacy of Saddam Hussein and the top 10 war crimes he committed. It is essential to remember the victims and ensure that such atrocities never happen again.